Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Mindset Monday. Sorry I'm a little bit late this morning, but my sound, I'm having technical difficulties. So, as you are filing in, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know. Brenna, can you guys hear me? Nicole, I see you guys jumping in. Can you hear me on Instagram? Let's do a sound check. And for any of you guys on Facebook, Con, can you hear me on Facebook? I'm doing a sound check. Throw me a message. Okay, Instagram, I got a yes. And you guys can hear me too. Okay, well, I guess I'm not. Okay, if I take these off, can you guys hear me on Facebook? Because I don't think these are working today. All right. Okay. Sam, Con, you guys can hear me on Facebook? I'm going to say yes. I'm hoping since I took these out. Okay. All right. You guys, when there's technical difficulties, it throws me for a loop. Okay. But what are you going to do? You got to work through it. And today, working through it means not having my headset in. So here we are. Okay, guys, today the topic of my live, let's get to it, is from 3% to thriving. From 3% to thriving. I'm going to get it together today. I promise. Okay. So when I talk about, you guys, this is going to be interactive today. So get your fingers on your phones or get your fingers on your keyboard. When I say from 3% to thriving, what am I talking about? Throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat. What do you think I'm talking about when I say 3% to thriving? I'm going to give it a minute while I compose myself. What do you think today's topic is going to be? Yes, profit. Okay, Artistic Trend Salon. Thank you for piping in, Sam. Good job. All right, guys. Salon numbers, bottom line. Yes. Hi, Gio. Hi, Brenna. Hi, Andrea. Good to see you guys. Ginger. Okay, you guys, you're all ready. So grab your coffee, your tea, your wine. No judgment. Depending on what time of the day you're listening to this, or I guess it doesn't even matter because it's wine o'clock somewhere. All right. So yeah, I'm a little bit loopy today. My God, technical difficulties makes you get like that. All right, guys. So why would I say from 3%? What is 3%? What does 3% mean? Do you guys know what 3% is an indicator of? It's not a solid, but do you know what it's an indicator of? Throw that in the chat. Why am I saying 3%? Okay. Throw it in there. Well, I'm saying 3% because the average profit margin of an owner, right, Brenna, average salon profit, the average profit margin of a salon, of an employment-based salon, and that 3% is with the owner doing services. I've talked about this before. It's not okay with me. It's not okay with me that you have to do services in order for you to squeak out a 3% profit. That's hardly cash flow. So if you have something big that happens, how are you going to handle that? How are you going to handle that with 3%? I'm just checking. So how many of you out there are struggling to have the cash flow? And what if you didn't do services? Can you still take a paycheck? So my goal always in the lives that I do and talking about leadership and talking about increasing team morale, culture, operations, all of the things that I've been talking about for 20 plus years, is all in an effort to carve out a bottom line that as a business owner, you should be able to take a profit as an owner, not as a technician. And I've said this before, and I will say it 100 times. If you want to be a technician and take a paycheck that way too, great. No one's saying don't be a technician. What I'm saying is you shouldn't have to be in order for your company to be thriving. And so, look, for some of you that have followed me for a long time, you know my story that I opened my very first salon in 1992. And I opened my salon because I was a super busy hairdresser. I was super busy. I was traveling doing education. Um, I was working 5 days a week, probably Tuesday through Saturday. I would leave maybe half a day on Saturday to get on a plane and travel to go teach. And then I'd come home Monday night because I teach Sunday, Monday, and it was back to work for me. And um, so when I decided to open my business, I opened my business because I thought to myself, I wanted to create a better environment for a salon team than I had had as a hairdresser working in salons. I never had sick leave. I never had paid vacation. I never had 401k. I never had, I mean, the beat goes on. I didn't have any of the benefits. So I wanted to create that. And that was my why. That was why I was doing it. But I opened my salon not knowing how to do that. I opened my salon really because I thought, well, I'm a busy hairdresser and I know how to do that. So I should be a business person. I should naturally know how to run a business. Are those two things, do those two things go hand in hand? I think they do not. I think we all have probably been busy technicians and thought, I'm going to go out and I'm going to open my business and I'm going to do it better than the last owner that I just came from. And yeah, a lot of us probably are doing it a little better, a little different. But a lot of you, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot, because I have worked with thousands of salon owners over the years. And when I say a lot, I mean most are not able to stop being a technician, even if they wanted to or didn't want to, and get the paycheck that they're getting. And I just think that that is horrific. So when I first started with my business, I didn't even know what my financials were. I would get financials every month, but I didn't know what they meant. And the only thing that I would look at, really, I don't even think I looked at the top line. I looked at the bottom line to see if I was in a negative, if there were brackets or no brackets. If there were no brackets, then I thought we're good to live another month. And if there were brackets, I thought I need to start doing more hair. That was my mentality because I never learned how to do it different. And I didn't learn how to do it different for years. And I want owners to avoid that. And some of my clients have been doing hair for years and owned salons for years, and they're still not getting a paycheck, like 15 years, 20 years. And the work begins when I work with salon owners when they first contact me. Their goal usually is, I love doing hair, but I don't want to have to, and I want to be able to take a paycheck. Some of my clients, if they went on vacation, they didn't take a paycheck while they were on vacation, yet they've owned this business for years. And I'm just like, it is heartbreaking to me. So today I want to talk about 3% is not enough. 3% profit is not enough profit in order for you to have a sustainable business and be able to take a paycheck. So I'm not going to be able to get through oodles and oodles of information today because we have 30 minutes together. But I just wanted to drive home that, maybe we didn't go to school to learn how to be an accountant or read our financials. That's okay. There's no judgment in that. But what I will tell you is when you know better, you have to do better. And sometimes knowing better is knowing that I don't know how to read my financials and I don't really know what they mean. And if I do know what they mean, maybe I don't know how to change them. Maybe I don't know how to change the trajectory of my profit, even though I maybe know how to read it. So it's one thing to not know how to read your financials. Then next level is I know how to read it. And then the next level would be every decision I make ties into those financials, and I need to make different decisions if I'm going to get a different end result. I'm tired of seeing owners operating at a loss, struggling to pay the bills, living payroll to payroll, and their paycheck is the first one to get canceled when there's not enough money to make payroll. And so I have 5 steps for you today. Are you surprised? I want you to write this down if you can, or go back and listen to this, or maybe I will put in my stories what these 5 steps are later on today. But I want to ditch the 3% and really unlock your earning potential. That's my goal. And so let's start with step number 1, since I already wasted part of our time this morning with my tech issues. So if you're just piping in or just filtering in today, we're talking about from 3% to thriving. So taking our business from not being profitable if you stop doing the services that you're doing to being profitable to be able to take a paycheck. So, all right. So step 1, I have 5 steps for you today. Step 1 is know your numbers. Now, that might sound like, yeah, you say that all the time, but this is the foundation to taking the first step to being profitable, is knowing that every decision I make as a business owner, and I know this might sound like, really, Carrie, but I'm going to say it because it's the truth. Every decision you make, every decision you've made and I'll give you examples, to build your compensation plan, to sign the lease that you're in right now, to running to the beauty supply, to choosing the back bar products that you use, to having a big party for your staff around the holidays. So I'm not even saying these are good or bad decisions. I'm just illustrating that every decision you've made has gotten you to where you are today. If where you are today is not profitable and not able to take a paycheck if you're not doing services, and still be profitable, Con, you said also the decisions about hiring, who we hire, all of the things have landed us where we are today. So I'm saying that because I want you to think about every decision you make from here forward. When we know better, we do better. Every decision we make from here forward will have an impact on your financials. I've said this a million times, and I will say it until my last final breath. Numbers tell a story. So when you're looking at your financials, they are telling a story about, yes, how you're hiring, how you structured your compensation plan, how you're paying your bills, how you're operating your business from financials. I could go through, it's why when I am taking on a coaching client, the very first thing before I have my first meeting with them, they have to send me their financials. So if you're thinking about doing coaching with me and you're like, I don't want to share my financials, I might not be your person, because I don't want to be flying blind with you. I don't want to make the same mistake that maybe you've been making, which is making a bunch of decisions, not by fact, but rather by feeling. So know your numbers. I will say right now, under this one step, step 1, know your numbers. The biggest expense that you have is your payroll. Your compensation is the biggest expense. And your compensation in our industry falls into 2 different categories. One is service provider payroll should not exceed 45% of service dollars. And that includes technicians, associates, or assistants, or apprentices. All of that payroll falls into service provider payroll. It should not exceed more than 45% of the service dollars that you're bringing in. Front desk and management pay should not exceed, there's a new benchmark out that's 11%. I think that's pretty high. I think 8 to 9% would be a healthy place to be. That's 8% of total sales that you would have your front desk, your guest relations, any managers in there. And sometimes if your business is small enough, you might not be able to afford to have a manager. You might be the manager. And so, there maybe wouldn't be a manager's pay, but there would be a guest relations or front desk associate pay in there. So payroll, and imagine if the benchmark is not to exceed 45% of your service dollars in your service provider compensation. That's not including taxes, insurance, any of those things. So then you're going to add payroll, taxes, insurance on top of that. So you're thinking about your service dollars that you're bringing in, over 55%, including taxes and insurance and all that, over 55% just right off the bat goes away. It goes to compensation, and you're left with, that's only service provider. Then you have another 8-9% of total sales that goes to front desk, guest relations, salon coordinator, whatever you call your guest relations team. So now put another, 8-9% on top of that 55, and now we're looking at 64%. So plus taxes for your guest relations team. So you're looking at 65, 66, 67%. So you're left with the rest to pay your bills. I haven't even talked about another huge expense, which could potentially be rent. That's a non-negotiable for most of us. Once we sign on the dotted line, it's done. So your rent is in there no matter what. The other expense that I see, because people don't budget for it because they're not looking, they don't know what to look for, is back bar. The back bar that's being utilized, the color, the shampoo, the styling products, that back bar. I'm not talking about salon supplies like foils, that kind of stuff. I'm talking about the products, the back bar products you're using to provide a service. That should be running at no more than 6%, really between 5 and 6%. I sometimes start off with salons and their back bar is 10%. So that's another, like, being over budget there is huge. So to know your numbers is one thing, right? So you may know the benchmarks or the KPIs. You may know what those are, and you may be looking at your P&L and saying, I can see where I'm landing in relationship to where I should be. I might be over here month over month over month. That's thousands and thousands of dollars a year that you could be carving out for a paycheck or to have more cash flow on hand. So it's one thing to know those things, and it's another thing to know once I see that I'm over, and not just 1 month, but that I'm trending over consistently because I'm paying too much. And it's another thing to know what to do about that. And if you're not in action right now to know what to do about if those numbers are too high, then you can project out and say next year at this same time or in 6 months from now, from this very day, if I am not taking action to lower those expenses, I'm going to be exactly where I am today. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to go in and have a thriving business where all those pieces, the operational pieces, matter, because it's in the operations that we can then start making decisions that carve out more profit to be a healthy, sustainable company. Is that making sense for you guys? So step one, throw me some comments if you're feeling this or if you have questions about it, right? So I'm here for you for another, couple minutes here. So step one, know your numbers. And then once you know your numbers, know what to do about them if they're not in alignment with creating a success and profitability. Step two, price point. Price for profit. Price for profit. Step two. So if your prices are not sorted out so that it's not only offsetting the cost of doing that service, but creating a profit, then you need to relook at your pricing. So I see these coaches out here online that just say, let your stylist create whatever pricing they want to create, work whenever they want to work. I mean, what? And then what? and then I, as an owner, am working my ass off in order to cover those expenses. Most of the time, stylists have a hard time charging their worth. And there is a break even point where you can't charge less than X in order to break even and be profitable on that said service. And you need to figure out what that is. So if I have a stylist that is saying, I'm not comfortable charging these prices, that's a non-negotiable in my business, because if I'm losing money on the services that you're providing and I'm paying you too much, are you catching my drift? Are you feeling my passion around this? So pricing is so important. And maybe you are the type of salon that says, hey, I want my stylist to be able to have anonymity and to be able to, or autonomy, and to be able to charge what they want to charge. And maybe you have that mindset. I'm not saying that's wrong. Then have a base, right? Have a base charge of what they can't go under, and then anything above that, maybe that is how you're running your business. That's not how I run my business, but I don't think that there is like specific rights or wrongs in this industry. I think it's what works for you, and it's also making decisions that carve out profit for you. If you're not profitable, you will not be sustainable. I'm just going to say, like, I don't even know how many more times to say it. And I love that I see my staff on here. And Andrea, Crystal, shout out to you guys, total in support. Like, they get it. Our company is a company that talks about what we need to be profitable. It's not a secret. It's not a dirty word. It's called business. It doesn't mean that I'm taking that and doing whatever I'm doing with it, but technically I could, because it is my business, but it has to go back in the salon, called cash flow. So pricing, you cannot be held hostage to your staff that are saying, I don't want to charge that much, when it costs a certain amount in order for you to pay them and to run your business. Con said, know your break-even point. You should know two numbers, your break-even point and your profitable break-even point. Those are two big numbers to know. All right, step 3. I know I'm going a little bit over today, but I started about 7 minutes late because these things weren't working. All right, step 3, retail therapy. I don't know how many times I'm seeing these coaches pop up online saying to get rid of your retail. Are you insane? Now, I guess if you're not a retailing salon and you have all of this space and all this product on your shelves, okay, I could see it. But if you want to be a profitable business and you're choosing to not have a retail center, even if it's a small one, and make money on retail, I just say, what is wrong with you? Right? So, I mean, when I looked back before I went on this live. So I looked back for the first 4 months of the year in one of our locations, and we're trending $26,000 a month in retail. So we're already year to date over $100,000 in sales in retail. Now, of course, part of that is that we buy the product. Part of it is that we pay bonuses for retail. And another part is to create profit in the company. So if anyone tells you that selling retail is not a profitable department in your company, I would just question that. It's math. When I buy something for $10 and I sell it for $20, it's called profit. So, if your business has retail and you are not at least $15 to $20 retail per client ticket, or maybe 20% of your total services are coming from retail, those dollars are coming from retail, it's time to look at what's going on from an operational perspective, right? It might be time to change the culture. Is it easy? No. We're in a salon now where we're working on changing a customer service culture so that we're educating our clients, creating a 5-star experience so that we can elevate the experience and create profit for the business and create profit for the technicians. Again, I talk about a triple win. Is it a win for the company? Is it a win for the technicians? And is it a win for the client? We know for a fact our clients are using shampoo, conditioner, and styling products. They're just not buying it from you. So I don't know, why aren't they? Why aren't we creating a service where they are buying it from us, where they trust us and we're that authority? All right. So step 1, know your numbers. Step 2, price your services for profit. Step 3, retail therapy. We're all out shopping and so are our clients. So don't kid yourself and don't close their pocketbook. Just because you might not choose to buy or spend the money for that shampoo, it doesn't mean your client's not going to spend the money for that shampoo. Am I feeling passionate today? Am I a little red? Am I on a roll? I don't know. Am I on the pulpit? All right. Team power is step 4. So our team is our number one asset. Number one, no team, no business. Are we investing in our team through education, through team meetings, through coaching, one-on-one coaching, fun contests, and really developing the culture and the morale? And when I say developing, I mean developing the culture into your core values and your mission, developing your people so they understand when you make decisions, why you're making those decisions. I want to be able to stand up in my company and say, you know what? We have to do A, B, C, and D in order to continue to be sustainable. We all know the cost of living is going up. All of us, my team and me, we're all in the same boat. Gas has gone up. Interest rates have gone up. Gas and electric has gone up. Every year, when I'm renewing our health insurance for the company, I'm like, oh my God, every year it's going up 7-8%. If your prices or you're not making decisions to increase pricing and do different things to have money drop to the bottom line every single year, you are taking percentages of your profit that are just going back to higher expenses and you're not recouping those things. So your team has to understand that that's part of our culture. We have to be growing or we're dead. We haven't been around 32 years because we've stayed the same. We're always changing and growing. I was talking to my colorist yesterday. Doesn't my hair color look good? I was talking to my colorist yesterday when I was getting my hair done. And I had one of my coaching clients came to San Diego and we had brunch yesterday. And he and his partner came over to the salon while I was getting my hair colored and we continued our chat. It was great to see him. If you're ever in San Diego, come and visit me. Maybe not when I'm getting my hair done, but and my colorist said to me, what's the hardest thing about doing your coaching business? And I said, getting owners to get the courage to make the changes. And I said, what do you think about that when we always change? She goes, I'm so used to change. We're always changing in here. There's always things changing. I guess I'm just used to it, she said. And I was so happy to hear that because it's the truth. We're always making changes and the team get on board because we're making them for a specific reason. There has to be a why. So when we're launching the changes, I have to find a way to explain what has changed that we need to change. And so it's my job as a leader to be a good explainer, right? So our team, number one asset, right? Oh, thank you. So Artistic Trend Salon said, great job on my color. Shout out to Phil for my color. All right, you guys. So we have step 1, know your numbers. Step 2, price for profit. Step 3, retail therapy. Step 4, team power. Your team are everything. Step 5, get support. I mean, don't make me go on a tangent about hiring a coach. And I'm not even saying hire me necessarily, although I am up for hire. But if you don't know how to, A, read your numbers, compare to what profitable salons around the country are doing and where their numbers are landing, and then the biggest piece is, what do I do with that information? How do I implement change? then get a coach, get support. Because knowing is one thing, but being in action around carving that profit out for your business is a whole nother, it's a whole nother category of leadership. Your profitability is a function of your leadership. Yeah, I said what I said. So, all right, guys. I know I'm taking over your time today because it's 6 minutes over. So, well, I'm just at about 30 minutes because of my technical difficulties. You can tell I have a passion for this, right? So, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to DM me. You can throw your comments in the feed. These videos always live on my Carrie Davis Consulting Facebook page, and they all live on my Carrie Davis Consulting Instagram page. So at any time you can share them, you can tag a friend, and you can go back and listen if you maybe didn't come in the beginning. So I want to thank you guys so much for being here. I love seeing all of you guys every week. You just fill my heart and you get my engine going for the week to make sure I stay on track. So you're like my accountability partners. I love seeing my staff on here. Gio used to work for me. I saw Andrea on here. Diego pops in sometimes. Andre, Crystal was in today. I love it. Benny used to work for me. She's on here. I love seeing you guys and all my friends in the industry that own salons or manage salons. You know, hats off to you for coming every week and getting your engine started so that you can make healthy, success, profitable decisions and behaviors to create some freedom for yourself. So I love you guys, and I hope you have an amazing week. All right? I'm off for my calls now. I got calls all day long. Mwah! Have a great week, and I'll see you. I'll catch you next week. Bye, guys. Bye.